Hey everyone, before this video gets started, I wanted to start off by saying this is my Fox News theme between Webb and Donald Trump. Sorry for not uploading earlier today. I was out door knocking and it was a lot of fun, but I got really tired, so I fell asleep when I got home, and I woke up at like 7 p.m. So, yeah, and this is going to be a general election prediction between a conservative Democrat and a Republican, so remember that when you take into factor all the state calls, because a lot of calls that you would normally see in a regular Democrat versus Republican election may not happen. In this case, some states may be too close to call that should be solid Democrat or solid Republican, things like that. And overall, this is just going to be a regular election night, and there won't be any media predictions for today. I know a lot of people wanted me to keep them, but I didn't have enough time to get this, and then I have to help my dad. So they'll definitely be in the next video. So with all that said, let's get right into this video. Good evening. Welcome to Election Night 2020. Tonight we have the incumbent president, Donald Trump, running against Jim Webb, the conservative Democrat and former senator from the state of Virginia. It is now time for the 7 p.m. poll closings. Out of the state of Vermont, Jim Webb is the projected winner of their 3 electoral votes. Out of the state of Virginia, Jim Webb's home state, he will carry the state's 13 electoral votes. Out of the state of South Carolina, Donald Trump is the projected winner of their 9 electoral votes. No surprise, out of Mike Pence's home state of Indiana, Donald Trump the projected winner, 11 electoral votes. Now out of the state of Kentucky, Donald Trump is the projected winner of their 8 electoral votes. Now out of the key state of Georgia, it is too close to call, Donald Trump is in the lead, and the electoral map is on your screen now, 28 for the President of the United States and 16 for Jim Webb. It is now time for the 7:30 p.m. poll closings. Out of the state of West Virginia, it is too close to call, 5 electoral votes. Donald Trump has a small lead, a state that he won well over 30% in 2016. Out of the state of Ohio, it is too close to call. Jim Webb is in the lead, with only 1 Democratic county reporting, which is why the numbers are as partisan as they are, 18 electoral votes. Out of the state of North Carolina, it is too close to call. Donald Trump is in the lead by a small margin. And the national electoral vote is on your screen now. No change in the electoral map, 16 for Jim Webb and 28 for President Trump. It is now time for the 8 p.m. poll closings. All the states in white, their polls have closed. Out of the state of Oklahoma, Donald Trump is the projected winner of their 7 electoral votes. Out of the state of Missouri, 10 electoral votes will go to President Trump. Donald Trump will carry Mississippi's 6 electoral votes. Out of the state of Alabama, 9 electoral votes lands in the Trump column tonight. Out of the state of Tennessee, 11 electoral votes projected to go to President Trump. Now out of the state of Georgia, a call from the 7 p.m. poll closing times, Donald Trump the projected winner of their 16 electoral votes. And out of the state of Illinois, the 3rd Democratic victory of tonight, Jim Webb the projected winner of their 20 electoral votes. Out of the state of Massachusetts, we made a mistake here, but actually 11 electoral votes will go to Jim Webb. Out of the state of Rhode Island, 4 electoral votes projected to go to Jim Webb. Out of the state of Connecticut, 7 electoral votes will go to Jim Webb. Another error here, sorry about that. Out of the state of New Jersey, 14 electoral votes will go to Jim Webb. Now Jim Webb will carry Delaware's 3 electoral votes. And out of the state of Maryland, 10 electoral votes are projected to go to Jim Webb. Out of the District of Columbia, 3 electoral votes, huge liberal area, Jim Webb the projected winner. And out of the state of Maine, all 4 of its electoral votes are now projected to go to Jim Webb. And out of the state of Florida, we made another mistake here, I apologize for that. 29 electoral votes, not 15. Is too close to call. Donald Trump is lacking behind Jim Webb, a state he won in 2016. Out of the state of New Hampshire, it is too close to call. Donald Trump is in the lead by 1.1%. Now out of the state of Pennsylvania, Jim Webb has a 10% lead, but it is still too close to call. And the electoral map is on your screen now, 87 for President Trump and 92 for Jim Webb. It is now time for the 8:30 p.m. poll closings. Out of the state of Arkansas, Donald Trump is the projected winner of their 6 electoral votes by an overwhelming lead. And the electoral map is on your screen now, a small change, 93 for President Trump, now taking the lead to Jim Webb's 92. It is now time for the 9 p.m. poll closings. All the states in white, their polls have closed. Out of the state of Louisiana, 8 electoral votes will go to President Trump. Now out of the state of Texas, President Trump is the projected winner of their 38 electoral votes. Out of the state of South Dakota, their 3 electoral votes will go to President Trump. Now out of the state of North Dakota, another 3 electoral votes projected to go to President Trump. Out of the state of Nebraska, all 5 of its electoral votes will go to President Trump. Out of the state of Wyoming, 3 electoral votes now projected to go to President Trump, one of the most conservative states in the Union. And out of the state of Kansas, 6 electoral votes will go to President Donald Trump. Now out of the state of Arizona, a much earlier call than in 2016, Donald Trump the projected winner of their 11 electoral votes. Now out of the state of New York, 29 electoral votes will go to Jim Webb over Donald Trump. New Mexico will go to Jim Webb, 5 electoral votes. Now out of the state of New Hampshire, an earlier call than in 2016, Jim Webb the projected winner of their 4 electoral votes. Now out of the state of Colorado, it is too close to call. Jim Webb is in the lead. And out of the state of Minnesota, it is also too close to call, a state Hillary Clinton won in 2016. Now out of the state of Wisconsin, a state Donald Trump won in 2016, is too close to call. Jim Webb is in the lead. And out of the state of Michigan, it is too close to call. Donald Trump is leading with their Jim Webb is leading, but there are 16 electoral votes that previously went for President Trump. And the electoral map is on your screen now. 170 for the President of the United States and 130 for Jim Webb. It is now time for the 10 p.m. poll closings. Montana, Iowa, Utah, and Nevada. Out of the state of Utah, its 6 electoral votes will go to President Trump. Now out of the state of Montana, 3 electoral votes now projected to go to President Trump. Out of the state of Iowa, 6 electoral votes will go to President Trump, a state he won in 2016 by around 9%. Now out of the state of Ohio, President Trump is the projected winner. A call from a key state. Remember, no Republican has won the White House without Ohio, and Ohio has gone with the victor since 1988. Donald Trump is the projected winner. Actually passed Bill Clinton. Donald Trump the projected winner here, and the state of Nevada is too close to call. 6 electoral votes in total. Jim Webb is in the lead, and the electoral map is on your screen now. Donald Trump now breaking the 200 barrier. 130 for Jim Webb to 203 for President Trump. It is now time for the 10:35 p.m. poll closings. Sorry, we have state calls, not poll closing. Out of the state of West Virginia, one of the closest West Virginia races, Jim Webb was extremely popular in this state, almost deducted 30% from the President of the United States. Overall, when it all comes down to it, Donald Trump will carry their 5 electoral votes in a vital and pivotal election season. Out of the state of Florida, Donald Trump is the projected winner of their 29 electoral votes. 96% of precincts reporting Donald Trump with an impressive 2% lead. Now out of the state of Nevada, Jim Webb is the projected winner of their 6 electoral votes. And out of the state of Colorado, Jim Webb will carry their 9 electoral votes. Now out of the state of Minnesota, a Clinton state from 2016, Jim Webb projected to take their 10 electoral votes. And the electoral map is on your screen now. 155 for Jim Webb to 237 for President Trump. It is now time for the 11 p.m. poll closings. A lot of Democratic states coming in right now. Out of the state of California, 55 electoral votes will go to Jim Webb. Jim Webb will also carry Oregon's 7 electoral votes in a pivotal move. Out of the state of Washington, no surprise here, Jim Webb, the projected winner of their 12 electoral votes. Now out of the state of Hawaii, 4 electoral votes will go to Jim Webb. Now out of the state of Idaho, President Trump is the projected winner of their 4 electoral votes. And the electoral map is on your screen now. 233 for Jim Webb to 241 for President Trump. It is now 11:54 p.m. Eastern Time, and we can now make state calls out of the states of North Carolina and Michigan. Out of the state of Michigan, a flip from 2016. 16 electoral votes will go to Jim Webb with a almost 5% lead. Donald Trump is behind Jim Webb in the state with 97% of precincts reporting. Now out of the state of North Carolina, 15 electoral votes. We apologize there. 15 electoral votes projected to go to Jim Webb from the state of North Carolina. 99% of precincts reporting. And the electoral map is on your screen now. Jim Webb now 6 electoral votes away from being President of the United States, while Donald Trump is behind with 241 electoral votes. It is now time for the 1 a.m. poll closings. Out of the state of Alaska, and the state of Alaska will go to President Trump, 3 electoral votes. And the electoral map is on your screen now. No change here, except for the state of Alaska. 3 more electoral votes to Trump's column, putting him at 244 electoral votes to Jim Webb's 264. We can now make a state call out of the state of Pennsylvania. It is now 2:34 a.m. Eastern Time, and Donald Trump will carry Pennsylvania's 20 electoral votes, putting him at an exact electoral tie with Jim Webb. And you can see on the electoral map, 264 for Jim Webb to 264 for President Trump. And now all comes down to the state of Wisconsin. It is now 3:13 a.m. Eastern Time, and stand by for a presidential election call from the state of Wisconsin that will ultimately decide the victor of this year's election. And out of the state of Wisconsin, their 10 electoral votes will go to Jim Webb, meaning Jim Webb will become the next president of the United States. Jim Webb will be the 46th president of the United States out of this call in Wisconsin. Jim Webb, the projected winner of Wisconsin's 10 electoral votes. Jim Webb will go over the 270 mark with 274 electoral votes to President Trump's 264. This was a crazy election season. West Virginia came within less than 1%, while Pennsylvania went for Trump by more than West Virginia did. North Carolina voted for a Democrat since Obama, for the first time since Obama, and while Donald Trump was not able to hold on to the Rust Belt, Jim Webb has flipped the presidency from the Republicans, and Jim Webb will be the 46th president of the United States. Here are my social media pages if you wanted to keep in touch with me personally, or you just want to see updates about new videos. My Twitter is @LTEupdates. My Patreon is patreon.com/LTE. Upcoming, I have Tammy Baldwin versus Donald Trump in election night with this Fox News theme. Comment if you guys like the Fox News theme or not, or I should switch back to an old one, and which one. Comment notification squad if you're early, and I'll put you guys in my next election night. I haven't been doing that because I'm trying to build it up into multiple pages. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, I almost forgot. Okay, so click on the left to watch my most recent election night, and click on the right to watch my most popular election night of Bernie Sanders versus Donald Trump. I know the format's a little bit messed up because I've switched between wide and in this mode now, but subscribe in the center, and thank you guys for watching again, and I'll see you tomorrow.